that as well.
Love that. Would love it. Sounds good. Always good to have a nice meditation. It's good to see you, by the way.
The very same. Oh, look at that.
You got the hair spike today. It looks good.
It's got a horn.
I was gonna say, where's your producer? She's got to give the hair check before you start.
I know. I had the makeup, but I don't think I'm going to sack her. She's fucking useless, and she smells of cockles.
Yes. Oh man, I needed this laugh this morning after the weekend we've had. This whole Mercury retrograde's been getting intense, huh?
Tell me about it. I was in hospital Saturday night.
What's up with everybody going to hospital right now? I know so many people that have gone to the hospital in the last 24 hours. It's crazy, including my parents.
Yeah.
Weird.
I was all right, and then I went downhill very fast Saturday night. Really high temperature because I had sepsis last year because of my internals. They need to see me every time something like that happens. But by the time we got there and saw the surgeon, I was absolutely fine. And he just said, "I'll just get your stuff and go." So,
wow,
all good fun.
I was just telling Jonno before we started, my parents spent 12 hours in the ER yesterday, just trying to be seen. And there are people that came in by ambulance that were not seen. They had to wait hours, even though they came in by ambulance. How bad it's getting right now. It was completely packed, and they ended up leaving at 3 a.m. after not seeing anyone. Wow. So they waited for like 12 hours. Wow. Isn't that crazy? I know. So Mercury retrograde right now, I don't know if it's the energies or if it's just, but the last few days have been intense. I haven't been sleeping very well. How have you been sleeping?
But there's a lot of that going on. Well, Saturday night I had a very sort of disturbed evening anyway, for health reasons. So yesterday I slept very well.
Oh, well, that's good. At least you got some rest.
Yeah, we had a very easy day yesterday and caught up on a lot of sleep that I missed on Saturday night. So yeah, that's all right. But there's a lot of people. I've got people commenting to me, and they're having quite disturbed nights at the moment with everything that's happening with the retrograde. And I think a lot of things that are happening in the world at the moment are affecting the sensitives, shall we say.
Yeah,
I think there is a hell of a lot of that. The thing for us, of course, is to acknowledge it, accept it, and keep the power. As White Hawk says, be the light, always be the light. Never let that dim. Never let that baby dim.
It really is putting it into perspective, though. If we are feeling things just this intensely, and we know why it's happening at least to a relative degree, imagine what the normies are going through right now, how they're feeling with all of this and not being able to explain it and having no understanding as to why they feel what they feel right now. It's intense.
Yeah, and that's where the power is. The power is being able to recognize when your energy is being disturbed, when there's a was it a break in the force? Is that the phrase that they use?
Yes.
But if you don't know, you don't know, and you're just affected by it. The power is being able to recognize when things are happening, and then the acceptance of stuff that is outside of your control, and then powering up what is inside your control. And then there's a lot of things happening in the world at the moment that we have no control over. So let that baby go, let that shit go, and just concentrate on yourself. Concentrate on those around you.
Yes, it's a good time to just shed everything that's not serving you right now. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what the universe wants you to do.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can't look after yourself, you can't look after others.
Yes, exactly.
Don't worry about the others until you sort yourself out.
Yeah. And I feel like right now things are going to get more intense. Do you have any ideas on how people can actually kind of acclimate to these changing energies?
Well, this is something that I talked to my son about, Harrison, because he's very much into this. And he's very much about promoting light and power to his generation. but there is just so much of it. He was talking to me the other day, and he was saying that people around his area, people to him are between 18 and 25, and they're not going out anymore, and they're not living their lives because they just don't feel that is the thing to do. Yeah, you know, when I was 18 to 25, I was never in. I
Same.
was always out socializing with friends and things like that. And he was saying that he's trying to break that mold in his area, but by getting people out and getting people talking, and in his way, he's a house DJ, so dancing, and dancing is a total relief of energy. But they are all feeling this heavy repression that probably everyone that we know is also feeling as well. And it shouldn't be, kids of that age, they should be out doing the do and doing whatever. Yeah. Doing whatever they do to have fun and life, get experiences. It's horrible.
It is, but I feel like it's also coming to like a head right now too. Like it's not going to stay this way. I feel like people are kind of reevaluating the things that matter right now. And I think part of the reason why so many youngsters don't even want to go out anymore is because, one, it's so expensive. Like it's so crazy expensive right now to go out and have a good night. You're going to pay for it for about 3 days worth of work, at least minimum. But also because of the fact that alcohol and some of the things that used to be the number one way of socializing. I mean, I know a lot of people that are in their early 20s that don't even drink. And for us, I mean, in my 20s, I didn't know anybody that didn't drink. So It's like people are starting to realize the importance of certain things and starting to realize what's healthy and what's not, which is a really good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. Things are changing. They're certainly changing. Probably about, I'm going to guess, about 6-7 years ago, I think White Hawk was talking to Louise. I think it was Louise that he was talking to. And he was saying that things in the world are going to get a lot worse, purely because that is the vibration that the people on the earth want. And what he means by that is if you don't want it, don't accept it. And if you accept it, if you accept the leaders and if you accept things that are happening around you and you do nothing about it, and then that's your acceptance, and it will only get worse. And he was basically saying it's going to get worse over a few years before it gets better, because there is a point where everybody has enough. And there is a point where people realize, and there is a point, actually, this was pre-COVID. I don't know whether you can say it or not, I don't know.
Yeah, you're cool.
But it was pre that period. And he was saying basically that things are going to get so bad and shitty that eventually people will just turn around and say, you know what, division doesn't work. I have nothing against my neighbor, and it is okay for them to have a different opinion. It doesn't mean we're divided. And I think this is all part of it. In the UK, there's a lot of division at the moment, and there's also videos where people are live where this division is meant to be happening on the streets, and they're saying it's not there. I can walk between the two groups and I'm being told not to do it because it's so dangerous, yet I am free to do it. No one here is causing harm. So power is always with the people, and power to the people, and just community, unity. Don't be divided. Just say hello to someone that you don't know when you're walking down the street. Just say hello and good morning. Just be nice. I think that goes a long way.
It really does.
A long way. And there was a time where Louise, I can't remember what had happened. It was probably me that had pissed her off or something. But she was having a bit of a hard day, and she was going through the supermarket. And as she was queuing up to pay for it, there was a toddler in a pushchair. And the toddler turned around, looked at her, and just smiled. And it said it completely made my day.
Aww.
Because another, Louise is obviously very spiritual, but she said, another soul that didn't know me just looked at me, held my gaze, and then just smiled. She said, and it completely made her day. So, if you can change someone's day simply by smiling,
Yeah.
let's just smile at everyone.
Especially your cheeky smile, Jonno.
My cheeky smile. You don't want that. That'll scare you.
So much has been changing, though. I feel like people are starting to almost like come online and activate in ways like their third eyes are starting to open at a rate never seen before. Because
Yeah.
there are people that I thought would never wake up, and they're coming to me and going, "Hey, I got questions. There's some weird things that are starting to develop." And some of them are actually people, like I said, that are atheistic in a way, that don't believe in anything. And yet now they're starting to feel things that they've never felt before, and starting to recognize things. And it's a very exciting time, I think, because a lot of us that have felt like outsiders are now the ones that are like, hey, I got the answers if you want to know.
I think you're absolutely right. I know that to a lot of people, religion is very important. And also, those that do have the atheist, I was going to say the atheist belief, but I don't know. Is it? I don't know. It is a belief, but they
Somebody
don't
that
have a
is
belief.
atheist is further away from an awakening because they believe in nothing.
Yeah.
Which surprised me, actually.
But even they're now opening eyes.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of like a tidal wave. If it's natural, if there's no hidden agenda, if it's a natural thing, we're all spiritual beings. We are. That's how we've evolved over thousands and thousands and thousands ongoing. That's how we've evolved. And it's only in particularly the last 1500 years where we've closed all that down. People have seen the difference in how this closure is now affecting us in today. What is so simple to everybody. Spiritualism is not, I'm not saying you have to believe in it, and I'm certainly not throwing my opinion down anybody's throats. But the simple things is once you accept that you're an animal with senses, and then you can actually work the senses, and then you can actually begin to work with the senses to create positivity. Who's going to turn that down? And that flow and that vibration just vibes out. That just flows out to the masses, if you like. And as soon as you start accepting it and you see the difference in yourself, the people around you will see the difference. And they're going to want a piece of that cake. And we all like cake.
Yes, we do. I asked Aiden the other day. Aiden said something about why he was here. And I said, why are you here? And he goes, to eat chocolate cake.
There you are.
He told me. I burst out laughing. I was like, it's always the cake that's bringing people to Earth, eh?
There you are. See, and we're talking about Harrison, and he's now on the phone.
I say his ears are ringing. That's great.
Hang on, let me just...
Yeah, you're fine. Put him on speaker.
Yeah. He would. Wouldn't show him up.
We could totally have Harrison on the podcast someday. He could play some tunes for us.
Well,
dance party.
Yeah, there's things happening there.
Really?
There's things happening that he's doing, which is really, really good. So I think maybe give him a few weeks. I know that you have a lot of bookings lined up, but maybe in a few weeks we'll have everything behind.
Yeah.
All sorted out for him. And yeah, I mean the music that he's doing. I know we mentioned it before, but the music he's doing with the vibration. And also he met up virtually with Matt Callum. And Matt Callum is one of the practitioners that we have in the academy. And Matt Callum is a sound engineer. And having spoken to Matt completely inspired him in different directions as well. So he's got a lot happening. He's got a lot going on. He's a very happy bunny at the moment.
And I really feel like music has a huge role to play in all of this. I really do. Sound healing is one of the most powerful forms of healing you can do right now, I think.
Yeah, vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's I think there is a sound healer by the name of Sadako. I think that's his name. And he plays the typical sort of sound bath that I know a lot of people have experienced, but that sort of thing. But he plays a didgeridoo as well.
Nice.
And then he'll walk around the room playing the didge. And Jesus Christ, you feel that vibration when you're in that open vicinity of open energy, of healing energy. And then he comes around and plays the didgeridoo, and he's just absolutely amazing. Really, really powerful. But that's what sound does. I mean, sound is everywhere in the universe. Everything is energy. Everything has a vibration. Everything has a sound. So, love it. Dave has just said Seeker. Yeah, it might be Seeker. Seeker. It is Seeker. There you are. I forgot. All thanks to Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, his name's Seeker. Check him out. He's absolutely brilliant.
Very cool. I've never heard of him. I'll have to check him out.
Yeah.
So so when Harrison is doing these songs, does he actually make it in the intention of healing? Like when he's really? Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, so he does house tunes. And the idea is obviously dance promotes well-being. Harrison is very much in promoting well-being and mental health. Very much into that. And he knows that if you lose yourself on a dance floor, what's happening to you? You're healing yourself in a way, aren't you? Because of that vibration that you have within you. And we all know that positive vibration heals negative vibration. So his role is to get this vibe out there. So he will deliberately create music that has I'm trying to remember what he calls it, and I can't remember, but it's that certain hertz or frequency.
Oh, the 432 hertz.
That is the universal healing vibration.
Yes.
He will have parts of his music that deliberately have that vibration in his tunes, so that when people dance, when they lose their boundaries, when they lose their restrictions of life, and they're open to the energy of dance, music, and everything else, that's when those vibrations then go in. Very good. Very good. Love it.
I really feel like this is going to become more of a thing where the music has been transformed in a positive way, because if we've noticed, music has been used kind of as a weapon in many ways by dumbing down the populace and by changing our priorities in many different ways.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is kind of a revelation in itself, that we are, changing these things and adapting to what feels good. And we know it's a healing thing versus the other stuff that disconnects us.
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly around dance and music, traditionally a celebration, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you go back a number of years, you would have music and dance to celebrate something. And if you're celebrating, you're high vibing.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, obviously, we appreciate there's other types of music out there that are there to bring people down in energy and things like that, and the balance of musical energy. But absolutely, whatever your intention is, you can find that in music. And talking about the vibration of your home, if you've had a bit of a tough time in your home and the energy in your home is disrupted, get that music on, get that vibe up. Yes, I mean, we go into smudging, we go into all of that stuff as well, but get that vibe up. That's exactly what music will do. The music, see, the thing is, everyone has different tastes, don't they?
Yeah.
So it's finding that music that touches your heart. If you find that music that touches your heart, it will amplify throughout the house. And then you can create that sanctuary, so that once you get in through your front door, you have that sanctuary of energy that completely surrounds you and also protects you.
There's a case where the soul guides were like, they need to play some music in the home to raise the vibration. And I was like, oh, classical? As I'm typing, they're like, no, they don't like classical. Make it country. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I laughed so hard at that. I was like, oh, okay, no classical music. They like the country music. That's fine. It's whatever you like, as long as it makes you happy and raises the vibration of the space.
whatever it is.
But that was really funny that they were like, no, they will never listen to classical. The guys were like, we already know these guys. Nope, not gonna happen.
And that's the thing, because it's so personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Music is so personal to the listener. Is you got to get the stuff that Harrison, when he produces music, he says he never hears it. He sees it and he feels it. He never hears it. And the listener can be exactly the same. Don't listen for it. Just feel that energy coming, whatever it is. Every now and again, the neighbours aren't going to mind if you turn the volume up and just have a jig around the kitchen.
The neighbours.
Yeah, they're not going to mind if you're having a jig around the kitchen and just having a dance for a few minutes. What's the difference? Just whack it up. And Chantel, I've just seen that comment you've just put on Harrison SoundCloud. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's very nice of you, Chantal. Very cool.
Yeah.
So you got some new stuff coming up. You've been busy. you've got a lot on your plate right now, sir.
Yeah, it's a big plate to fill.
It is. Yes, it's more of a platter, really.
It is. It's more of a buffet. It's a spiritual buffet. Yeah. So I mean, really, it's all planned because I had a good February to June, not off, but February to June, very down on the work levels that I was doing because of the operation and the recovery.
Yeah.
That was deliberate. That was all planned. But also we had ideas to move forward. We have something called White Hawk's 21 days, and what that is. And I have to give Gabby a huge shout out for
Gabby's
this.
Amazing.
Because it was something that I wanted to do, but I didn't know the title. It was something I wanted to get going and I didn't know how. And it was Gabby that brought all that in. And Gabby has done a lot of work behind the scenes on that. Gabby's brilliant.
She is.
And what that is that there are a number of people, they kind of have a clearing and then it all goes. They forget it. They don't do it. They don't do the protection. They don't take advice. And then they come back in 6 weeks' time and say, look, I'm going downhill again. Can I have another clearing? And everything that we do is about education and trying to help people. So, we're not here because we want repeat customers and that sort of thing. We want the work to work as best as it possibly can. And then that way the work will go out there and people will learn and move on. So the 21 days is that it is said that it takes approximately 21 days to begin the base of a habit. So if you're not used to doing psychic protection on a daily basis, you might do it the day after your clearing, but you don't have a habit. Whereas the 21 days is a private group where for 21 days there is reminders. We talk about meditations, we talk about grounding, every single thing to help you stay sovereign, every single thing to help you stay pure and clear is mentioned in those 21 days. Yes. There's quotes from White Hawk, there's videos that I do, there's all these different wonderful imagery that Gabby has put together. And then towards the end of the 21 days, we have a live Q&A just for that group, just so we can talk about how it's been. And I can't give away the secrets, but there's little tips in there to help you remember to do protection and how to do it and how to make it easy. That's the important thing. It all has to be easy.
Can I just say something really quick? So Chantal says, I do my protections every day. I was very surprised to see how many cords and dark patches I had in my recent psychic surgeries. The thing is about those dark patches, those are manifested by you in most cases. So are you going to protect yourself from yourself? We talk about protections not working. Sometimes those things are because you are setting the cords and you are having negative thoughts, which manifest the dark patches. Because dark patches are essentially concentrations of negative energy.
Exactly that. And a lot of the time it's because you're not releasing emotions.
That's a big one.
So you're holding on to it. And then when you're not releasing emotions, those emotions become stale energy, and that stale energy then manifests into something a little bit more serious. And we don't want that. So it is about getting that energy clear, getting it out there. And it's not hard. It's really, really not hard.
Does
But
take practice,
also,
though. You
yeah,
know?
I mean, quite
It's like
often we talk about incoming chords being negative. What about outgoing chords that are negative?
bingo.
They're
That's
there.
a big one. Yes.
They're there as well. So all these things make a difference. So that's the purpose of the 21 days, really, is to get that person from no habit into having the foundations and the base work of having that habit, so that on day 22, day 23 and ongoing, it's just like brushing your teeth.
Yes.
That's the purpose. That's the point. We've already got people that have signed up for the next 21 days, even though they've just done 21 days. But it is 21 days. It starts on the 1st of the month. It's going to start every 1st of the month, and it's going to finish on the 21st of every month.
I'm gonna show
And
you
then
a
what we'll
link.
do
Is
is
that
we'll
on your
clear
website?
that group and upload the next group, so it starts on the 21st.
There we
Sorry,
go. No, you're fine. I'm
so
gonna
that
share
it
the link
starts
for
on the
you.
1st.
There we go. Bam. That's under your training workshops. You got a couple things up there right now, though.
There it is.
You got
There
all
is.
kinds of goodies up here.
Yeah, it's all.
There's the 21 days at the top. Nice. 33 pound. Very, very affordable. Very kind of you to charge such a fair rate, Jonno.
Well,
You also have
this is
the
there to
psychic.
get people into it.
Oh, sorry. You've got the gatekeeper and the psychic protection training as well.
It's all happening.
Wow, look at that. 29th of August. For those of you who have not done the gatekeeper and the psychic protection training, it's one of the best you can take actually when it comes to just learning how to protect your field and how to conduct yourself in certain ways. Because like we've been talking a little bit about the lost soul rescues that we want to do, and one of the prerequisites for that is some kind of a protection class. And this is one of the best ones you can take because it covers all those bases and it gets you in that consistent mindset of continually doing it rather than just doing it for my problem. Like, for example, with me trying to do Qigong is I have the best intentions in the world, you know, or I'm like, I'm going to do this every day. And then I just forget. I just get distracted and I get involved in other stuff. And the next thing you know, I completely off of it. So this is a great way of getting into that rhythm.
And that's the thing, you know, it's easy, you know, practitioners and through the academy and things like that, you know, we bang on about protection every single day. The phrase we use is shields up.
Yep.
You know, those phrases are all going out there, but to other people, it is about setting your foundations and getting your foundations done right. If you get your foundations, everything else can build upon. So yeah, that's the purpose. The 21 days with White Hawk. And then the gatekeeper and the gatekeeper, my most favorite meditation, sitting in the power. If you can learn how to do that, you can learn how to look after yourself. If you've got a gatekeeper, we all have gatekeepers, but if you have the confidence of calling on them, it can be life changing. Very, very simply life changing.
I found somebody the other day that had a giant grizzly bear as a gatekeeper. I was like, that is effective.
Yeah, you wouldn't muck about with that, would you?
No, you would not mess around with that guy. No. Yeah. And he was sovereign, for the record. And I laughed to myself. I was like, yeah, because nobody's going to mess with the fucking bear.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You just wouldn't. The energy of the bear with those claws.
Yeah.
Powerful.
I'm going to read Amma's comment, though. Amma just wrote something really sweet. She says, I'm doing the 21 days and I highly recommend it. It's the first 3 to 5 days that are the most difficult for the discipline, but now I am looking forward to waking up and doing it all. I also love the fire ceremony. Already did one myself, and being in your power truly is amazing, as that was what I was lacking in my life. Thank you, Jonno and Gabby.
Well, that, Amanda, is exactly why this is there. That's exactly why it's there. And I'm really, really happy to read that. It's made my day.
Yes.
It's going to make my week.
Lizzie had a question. She goes, is a gatekeeper the same as your spirit animal?
Can be. So the gatekeeper is a title that we give to a particular spiritual guide of whatever sort, that is there purely to watch your back. So your gatekeeper is the one that stands behind you. And when you open yourself up, is your gatekeeper that stands next to you and protects you. And in certain situations, it's your gatekeeper that will stand in front of you. So your gatekeeper, for example, could be a warrior, could be a centurion, could be a grizzly bear. You're not going to fuck around with those bloody things. It could be anything.
I saw an African tribesman as well. He was carrying he had the big tooth necklace, and he had the spear that he was carrying. That guy was also sovereign. He was not messing around, that gatekeeper.
Yeah. So quite usually they will have some kind of warrior energy about them. They're fighters. They're not frightened of anything, and they have that energy. Like when I used to teach martial arts, it's when kids used to come in and because they were being bullied, we taught them how to punch, we taught them how to kick, we taught them how to do certain things and go through the belts. But what they learnt was confidence. And it's the confidence that stops people from being bullied, not the fact that they learn how to block and kick. So this is your gatekeeper. This is your gatekeeper who's got the confidence to stand in front of you when required and clear the energy ahead of you. So that gatekeeper could be your natural master guide who you work with on a daily basis. It could be somebody different. It could be an animal, could be animal spirit. It could be spirit from anywhere. It could be universal.
I know a guy, a woman, that has a unicorn for a gatekeeper. And I had a little giggle to myself. I was like, a unicorn? And they're like, that unicorn does not mess around.
Yeah, you can't. She struggles to draw a picture of that.
You don't want to go piss off a unicorn.
Yeah, well, maybe it will beat back the negativity with bubbles and stuff.
Hey, you never know.
Whatever works, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't mean to make fun of it in that way, but it is literally is whatever works. So the gatekeeper, once we've done the sit and the power, which is when you get to learn about your own energy, the gatekeeper is when we bring the gatekeeper into your fields, into your etheric fields. And then you get to feel the vibrational change as your gatekeeper comes close. And then you can start picking up on that feeling, on that vibration, so that when you call them in, you can have that feeling. When you're walking somewhere and all of a sudden that feeling comes in, you're like, okay, what's going on? Something's there. If my gatekeeper comes and taps me on the shoulder, there's a reason for it. He doesn't come forward for any other reason than protection. So there is a reason when I see him around, a very big reason. And in fact, I'm just going to go.
You're not talking about White Hawk either. You're talking about your other gatekeeper.
Yeah. White Hawk isn't my gatekeeper.
No.
White Hawk will just love them and just want to heal them. Whereas,
it's Red Feather. Yes.
Sorry.
What's the name of your gatekeeper again?
Red Feather.
That's what I thought. Yeah, Red Feather.
Yeah, and that's White Hawk's brother.
And he's a bigger guy.
So he never talks. He never comes through in messages or anything like that. He's literally just there to take no crap. And I've seen him work time and time and time again. And the confidence, I'm sort of doing some work and things are going a bit hairy. Red Feather's there, and I'm like, yep. You're in trouble now.
Not tolerating any mischief today.
No mischief. No mischief from you dark and spiritual types. We're not exactly. Open to that. But however, just want to go through a quick story, and I'll talk about this story when we do the academy, the training, when we talk about psychic protection. It's quite a well-known story in the UK, so there may be people that know this story already. But there was a young lady, and she was walking home late at night, and she'd been to an event. For whatever reason, she was walking home, and instead of taking the usual lit roads, she decided to take a shortcut down an alleyway. As she was walking down the alleyway, at a corner or somewhere halfway down, there was a single guy standing there. And instantly, the hairs on the back of her neck went up. I think perhaps she should have turned around and walked away. But she didn't. She carried on walking. But she walked past that single guy. And she came out the alleyway, the other end, no experiences, no nothing, and went home. couple of days later, it was announced locally that later that evening in that alleyway, somebody was attacked and seriously hurt.
Wow.
So she went to the police and she reported the fact that she was down there. She saw this guy, didn't feel easy about it, etc. And she actually went through one of those recognition lineups, and she picked out the guy that the police had arrested for doing this crime. And when she was talking to the detectives, she actually said to them, why didn't he get me? What was it about me that he didn't attack? That was left because it worried her. And why was it someone else? What was it? So anyway, through the course of going on and talking to the detectives and things like that, the detective that she asked got back to her and said, we spoke to him about you and why he didn't attack you. And he said, the reason why he didn't attack you is because of the two guys that were walking with you.
Wow.
And this is a spiritual lady who now we can say, when she started walking down the alleyway, when she started feeling a bit intimidated by this figure that was standing in the alleyway, she called her guides in. This is a lady that sat in spiritual circles, and she called her spiritual guides in to walk with her while she was walking home when she saw that fellow in the alleyway.
Wow.
So, and that's out there. This is not mumbo jumbo. This is there. It's crazy.
There's a few times when your intuition will warn you about these situations, and that's the best time to call in your guides and to pray for help.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we're not going to be in a situation where we have to pray for help.
Well, you can call it whatever you want, really, but it's basically, it's like I call it the now, like whenever there's something going on, I don't, sit like this and go, please come and help me, God. I yell, please come and help me, Jen.
Yeah.
It's like I get more, specific about it now.
Well, this is it, and this is the point of the gatekeeper. This is the whole point of the gatekeeper, is so that you have that energy around you. We have adults come and do it, and then the next course their children are doing it.
Wonderful.
It's the whole point of just understanding that energy is there. What we do isn't new. It's not crazy. This goes back thousands and thousands of years. The traditional belief in Britain is exactly the same as Native American, as Peruvian Indians, as the Inuits, as Aboriginal, as Maori, as the African tribes that are there, the witch doctors. That the belief is exactly the same, and we've been doing it for tens of thousands of years, and it's just tapping back into that knowledge that unfortunately over the last few years we've all closed off. Mainly because we were being burnt.
I was gonna say, we did have some reasons for that. It's like they can't burn us anymore, Jonno. They're this is our golden era.
Yeah. But I mean, in the UK, the last person to be tried for witchcraft and found guilty was only in the 1950s. A lady by the name of Helen Duncan, who was a physical medium. She was a trance medium and a manifestational medium as well. And she was tried and found guilty in the 1950s and sent to prison, Holloway Prison. She was in.
There's 5 countries that still kill witches to this day. Just so you know. 5. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? You would think that it would be done by now, but no, there are still 5 countries to this day where they kill witches.
And this is the thing. I know that in our clearing work, we talk about witchcraft, and there is a kind of a different definition to that sort of energy that needs clearing. But, you haven't got to go back that far to when the wise women of the communities really were the pillars of the community. The midwifery, the herbal craft, the wise words, and passing on knowledge through generations. And then they got persecuted for doing it.
Yep.
Crazy.
100%.
Just doesn't make sense in any way at all.
But many of us were back again. That's the thing. You know, it's like you couldn't keep us down. We're back.
Yeah. I saw an image the other day, actually. There was a witch being burnt on the stake, and she had a cigarette out, lighting herself a fag from the flames. And it's almost like, yeah, do what you want. I'm coming back anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I'm coming back anyway. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Weren't you a sorcerer in a past life or something?
Me?
Yeah. Didn't you have the magic touch back in the day?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if we could meet our alternate selves? Although I think some of my alternate selves would be a little intimidating.
Can you imagine that? Just the same as, like, you know, if we said, right, let's get 10 people here, let's walk into a room and say hello. Imagine walking into a room where you have the manifestation of your previous self.
Yeah. What would you say to that person? Thanks for all the karma.
So I can blame you for all this, can I?
What did you do?
I hope it was worth it.
That's a good one. I hope it was worth it. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I can
love it.
imagine that would be a good meditation, actually.
It would. It would. Well, speaking of good meditations, just going back to your gatekeeper, because your gatekeeper is coming up as well. This is one of the best meditations you guys can do. I'm going to share the link one more time for you guys. Somebody asked, have you got more than one guide? Yes, we have the gatekeeper guide. We have your principal soul guide, which is kind of like your main guide throughout your life. But we get guides that come and go, don't we?
Absolutely. You will have a whole team around you. And that team don't necessarily stay with you, as Lara suggested. You get new guides that come in, you get guides that leave you. My first trance guide was a guide that I thought I'm going to have forever and ever. And I only had the energy of that trance guide for about a year. And then he sort of nipped off. White Hawk came in, and that's when White Hawk came in. He was explaining to me that original guide was there to get me on the path and to give me that confidence. And now he's off doing the same with other people. So as we progress, if you imagine someone that starts going into healing, you're going to have healing guides around you that are going to work with you. If this is something that you're going to take on and progress and kind of dedicate a lot of your time to, you will soon find that no matter how much you don't want them to, they will step back and they will leave you. And then the door will be open for the next guides to come in and they will take you on a higher elevation. So whatever it is that you're doing, your guides will change. But there are very likely to be a few guides that are with you throughout, and they will be known as your soul guide, as your master guide. These are the ones that are there every morning, every evening, every day, and they won't leave you. So yeah, the more you get into your guides, the more you realize what's there. And also it's a very good meditation actually to realize what your life path is, because we all have this consciousness of this is what I want on my life path, this is what I want, this is what I want. But constantly you're getting pushed back and you're getting blocked. And you're thinking, well, I want it, I want to work towards it, but I keep being blocked by it. And sometimes that's because it's not actually your path, it's what you want, which is a completely different thing. So by meditating with the guides there and realizing the guides you have around you and then asking them to show you your path can be quite amazing when you realize that you've been walking in the wrong direction for the last 10 years.
It does help a little bit, you know, to get some guidance.
Yeah.
Considering how many of us are just kind of winging it as we go, you know. But the other day it was funny. I asked guys, I said, can I have a little more guidance, please? Because I feel like I'm lost. And you know what the guide said to me? He goes, Laura, he goes, you have night vision goggles on. I would not be worried. I was like, what a great perspective, actually. That made me feel better. Thank you.
Yeah,
what a great
absolutely.
analogy.
Absolutely. But this is the thing, you know, and like how many people do that? How many people literally get up every day and just survive?
Mm-hmm.
I know I've been there.
Most of them
I've
right
been there a
now.
lot. You wake up every day thinking, oh God, here we go again. Just try and get through the day. If I can make it until I go to sleep, I'll be all right.
Gail had a
How
great
many people do
question.
that?
Are our guides our ancestors from current and past lives? Where do these guides usually come from? How do they choose us? Or do we choose them, or
Absolutely.
vice versa?
Yeah, well, what they do, they in Spirit Land, they have a big hat with a load of names in it.
The sorting hat. Ah, now I pulled Jonno again. Ah.
Put that back. I had him last existence. I don't want him
Andy
again.
last time. No, I'm not doing Andy again. No.
Yeah. I know what they do. I'm not. I ain't going there. I'm off. But the guides that are around you, yeah, absolutely, they can be. I mean, basically, your guides, they can be ancestral. They can be your higher self. They can be you from a previous existence. They can be guides that have no connection to you whatsoever, but their role and their job is to connect to the earthbounds and to help them through on a spiritual journey. They could be universal. They literally are and can be anything. Angelic realms, you know, they are all of the above. There is no restrictions at all, and that makes it really exciting.
It does. One of
Because
my
you never
friends
know.
has an Arctic fox with blue fur that can talk.
I
It's
don't
a
know what
guide.
I'm more amazed at, the blue fur or the fact it can talk.
Yeah. So no,
I think
even
that's
your
great.
not all your guides will be human, just for the record. And yeah,
Yeah.
just because they're not human doesn't mean they won't communicate.
No, absolutely. But you will have guides that resonate with you. You will
Yeah.
have guides you instantly feel that there is some kind of connection, some kind of bond, some kind of friendship, love, family connect, whatever it is. You will have that connection with your guides. And an Arctic fox, how incredible is that?
I know, right?
I can just picture it bouncing.
How
Bouncing
cool is
through the
that?
snow.
I just love that. And you know what else is really cool? I found somebody the other day. I asked for permission from the guide. Guess what the guide was? It was a tree. I'm like, did I just talk to a tree? They're like, yeah, kind of. Like,
Why not? It's all energy.
right? I was like, I didn't realize it could be a plant. But
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the thing. It
obviously, it's a
literally can be
sentient tree.
anything. It could
All
be a
trees
rock.
are sentient. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know someone that has a rock.
A rock? Are you serious?
Yeah, a rock is a guide. Yeah.
Your soul guide is a rock.
Yeah, it's a rock. But in fact, and very simply, you know, once you get, I always think sitting in the power. I'm very, very biased towards sitting in the power because it is your energy, and once you understand your energy, you can then begin to understand different connections and different things that you have when you understand your own energy. So I'm really sitting in the power bias. But I have a friend who was doing meditations, and he was shown a line of Mexicans. And basically, they were the Mexicans that you see in the cartoons. I'm not being disrespectful. This is just how he described it. It was the Mexicans that you see in the cartoons with the big sombrero, that the ponchos on, big droopy mustaches. And he learned how to communicate yes and no with them. Now, if you're using a pendulum, it will go one way for yes, and another way for no, or however that is.
Yeah.
If you're using spirit guides, you have the ways of using the clairs, the clairvoyance, the clairaudience, clairsentience, etc., to get your yes and no's. And once you get your yes and no, you then have communication, and then you can then start working forwards. But his Mexicans, if he gets anything in life, he always asks the Mexicans whether they approve.
Oh, that's so adorable.
And he said, if they don't want to approve, they'll just look down, shake their heads, and they'll sort of walk away. And he said, and they're just not interested. He said, but if something comes through that they really like, he said, when I speak to the Mexicans, they're all standing there waiting. He said, in a line with their sombreros and ponchos and stuff. And if they like what it is we're doing, they all jump up and down.
They're playing music.
Yeah, they all jump up and down and start dancing. He said they're absolutely amazing. And he's now gone on to having this whole communication where he literally just talks to the Mexicans, and it's brilliant. So yeah, you can have literally anything. There's someone there, Rhonda. I had 3 cartoon amigos. Yeah, maybe they're from the same family. I don't know.
Yes.
But
I
the
love
thing
that,
is,
though. It's our guides that are so unique as we are, you know, and that's one of the best things about working with SRT, I must say, is working with the guides, being able to have conversations with them every day and to get to know their personalities. I was talking with one of the mediums just last night about how unique they all are, how much personality comes out when you're actually communicating with them.
yeah.
In fact, some of the guides are hilarious. The jokes they tell during clearings. I mean, it raises the vibration when we're doing something very serious. The guides will start busting out jokes, and it completely catches me off guard every time. Like I know how funny they are, and yet when they tell a joke, I'm not used to it even now, and it makes me burst out laughing, and it really helps to uplift the brevity of doing this work.
And it really does. Lifting that vibration, laughter, happiness, smile, music. Let's just get into all that and we'll all be fine. I think you've got a message, Lara.
Yeah, I know. It's okay if I'm a few minutes late, Anastara. I was late due to car trouble this morning, so it's fine. We can take a few extra minutes. You are coming to New York, Jonno. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. I'm very excited that you're coming to hang out with us across the pond.
We are. We're flying across the pond. Yeah, October the 14th, we begin.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. So for those of you who are interested in doing spirit releasement work, make sure that you contact Jonno, and you could do what I do. And it's the most rewarding, fun job I've ever had in my whole life. Hands down.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the rewards, we did a live chat on Saturday, myself and Andy, and that was for people that want to become practitioners. So this is the reality of what it is day to day and what we do. And the work, we talk about it on social media, but you cannot get across how humbling this work is.
No.
You really can't, because if you go into the group on a Wednesday and you have all those people around you, and that support structure is completely surrounds you, that support structure from everyone in the academy is immense, and it is powerful, and it is strong, and it's almost immediate. So, whenever you want help, there is always someone there. But I think the big thing for me is the humility and the humbleness of receiving that feedback, receiving those comments. And
I get so excited about the feedback. I'm like, I hope I hear from this person, because that was a crazy case that just did.
yeah,
So there's people where I'm like, man, I hope they let me know how they feel afterward, because you can only tell how much they've been going through. Some people have some heavy stuff they've been carrying around. It's almost like taking off a backpack that weighs 60 pounds.
oh, huge.
So for them, it can really be a huge, huge change to your daily life, getting a clearing.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're looking for is we're looking for facilitators like Lara, and we're looking for mediums. So we're looking for people to come in and work as a team. The facilitator will run and manage the whole session, and the medium, their sole purpose is to keep that clear vision and just solely concentrate on that connection with the guides. So between the two, it's a very, very important team that we have working together, and that's what we do on the course. Is we teach the mediums. But we don't teach the mediums how to be a medium, because they need to be working to a high level before they come to us. But we teach them how to work with facilitators. We teach the facilitators how to work the protocol that we do and how to look after the session. So even if you come on your own, you will make friends. I promise you, you will make friends that you will have for a very, very long time. You will form teams. You will form the basis of how this work is going to go forward. You will meet Lara. You'll meet me, you'll meet Andy, you'll meet the others. And honestly, the strength in unity that we have when we all work together is just absolutely incredible. We deliberately don't go into too much about what we do in the protocol, because that is just for practitioners and having that understanding. But it's very simple. It's been designed over 11 years. Andy and Dr. Palmer take the credit for that. It's been designed for 11 years, and it's been designed to be simple, and it is. It's just very effective, and the difficulty is the discipline in getting it right, and that's what we go through. But the facilitators are a huge benefit to the clearing. You couldn't do it.
100%.
So yeah.
Danielle also said sometimes facilitators grow into mediums with additional training. Yes. I think that honestly, the more you sit there doing cases with the soul guides, the more your vibration raises up. Also, the longer you stay sovereign. I think honestly, one of the best things about being in this academy is the fact that you're always sovereign. I mean, if there's anything that causes you to be concerned, somebody can check you within 10 minutes to make sure. So even if you do end up getting pinged by something, we're there to back each other up. And so having that normal status, it's like you are so much more aware when something does come into your field.
It's exactly right. And because, see, the thing is that because it's not a spiritual development course, we're not there to teach mediums how to be mediums. The mediums that are there have got years and years and years of training and dedication behind them to be at the level that we want to work with. So when you're a facilitator, your constant work, and you're constantly surrounded by that level of mediumship and those mediums that are there, and you will have no choice but to pick up on things that are happening. And if you are open to it, you will see that the path ahead of you could well start bringing in those psychic and spiritual development to you as well.
And I think you start to come online too. One of the funny things is I've noticed is it really does help a little bit if the facilitator is a medium. Like, for example, the other day I had the thought to check. I said, "Can you check the roof, like inside the attic?" And the guide went, "Yeah, 1 second. How did you know there was something hiding up there?" I was like,
yeah, I mean, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Everybody using their intuition.
Yeah.
And the more you do it, like everything in life, the more you do it, the more confident you get, the more relaxed you get. As soon as you start having confidence mixed with that relaxation, you then have intuition that comes into it as well. So it is two separate roles, a medium and a facilitator, completely separate, but the team is what makes them powerful. And facilitators, they can come from any walk of life. We do have many that have hypnotherapy backgrounds, psychological backgrounds, but literally, if you're that person that wants to help one starfish at a time, then that's the opening into SRT for you. It's as simple as that.
Love that analogy. Gail had a great question. If we know mediums, how do we approach them with this academy? What is the best kind of segue to get their attention?
What, to get mediums into it?
Yeah, if you know a medium and you would like to bring up this topic to the medium, any recommendations?
Yeah, certainly. So if we're going to say that you know the medium, then I'm going to guess that you know the medium to talk to on a personal basis, and just ask them what they enjoy. Some mediums really just enjoy doing messages and doing platform at churches and things like that, which is absolutely brilliant. We're looking for the mediums that really want to come in and help. This is the trench stuff. This is in the trenches. And for all the mediums that I know, I know more mediums that won't do this work than I do know mediums that will.
They're happy talking to old ladies that crossed over and, making sure that grandma's happy on the other side. That's their speed, and it's totally okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that in any way, shape, or form. But this is in the trenches. This is the spiritual first aid, where literally it's down and dirty. And there are cases that are absolutely fine, and no worries at all. And there are other cases where the hairs in the back of your neck do go up, and there is that feeling around it that you really want to get in and get out as quickly as possible. So we are looking for strong personality. That's the wrong word, but we're looking for mediums who have got a strong belief in their connection, and that are wanting to help people with mental health issues, wanting to help people with schizophrenia. For mediums that understand that not everything in the world requires medication. There's other answers. This is SRT. This
No
is where
offense
we
to those
come in.
mediums, but I would be bored to tears, Jonno.
Sorry?
I said no offense to those other type of mediums, but I would be bored to tears. I couldn't do
Yeah.
it. No, I couldn't do it. I'm here for the excitement, for clearing out all the
different.
shit in the astral, you know?
It's different. It's very different. I mean, I there's Jennifer has just said that she's taken a mediumship course with Louise and Michelle.
Oh,
And I look at what they do, and it's brilliant. They go on stages, they talk to people, they help people in that way.
So
It's
healing
absolutely
and cathartic.
fantastic, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Louise has asked me for a number of years when she used to do the churches, the spiritual churches, and do demonstrations. She used to ask me to come up, and I did it once, and I didn't enjoy it, and it wasn't my comfort zone. Asked me to close my eyes, get down and dirty in the trenches. You'll have trouble holding me back. I'm straight there.
I'm laughing at Aaron's comment. Buffy and Charmed trained me for this. Those are my two favorite TV shows as a teenager. So yeah, I feel you on that, Aaron. Yep.
Well, this is it. This is it. It is. Lara, when we talk about what it is that we do, we talk about having a bit of tude, bit of attitude.
Yeah.
When you walk down the street, have you got a bit of swagger? Can you be confident when something happens in the clearing? How are you going to handle it? And I think that's one of the things that we wanted to sort out immediately, because there are other courses out there, but I don't believe there are any that are like ours. And that is because when you go through, and it is intensive, the 5 days, it is intensive. And then afterwards, you've got to go through the other things of doing your case studies. You've got to work with the assessor, and you've got to create a portfolio. But the whole point of it at the end is once you get your certification, the effort and the hours that you've had to put in to get that winged sword, because we send out a lapel badge. And if you see anybody that has that, they've also earned it. They've also put the hours in, and they also will get automatic respect from that other practitioner, because what they've had to do to get that. And I think this is one of the things, is that when someone is certified through us, is they're able to handle situations, they're able to handle problems. Obviously, a lot of it comes with experience. I'm not saying that, but on the ground, in the basis that when you go out, you do know if something comes, and you know how to look after yourself. You know how to look after the medium. You know how to look after your partners. You know how to look after your home. You know how to look after everything, and that's the level that we're looking for.
And this is why we say, even if you're just going to do the LSR, the earthbound rescues that we're going to do, you need to have a psychic training. This is why the 21 days, if you guys are interested in doing the Lost Soul Rescue with us, you're going to need to at least have an understanding of psychic protection, not just for yourself, but your home and your base needs to be protected.
Yeah. Don't start stepping into this energy open and not knowing how to look after yourself.
Exactly. But it is a good way to get your feet wet and to see if this work is for you, because a lot of us, I feel, have been in training for this our whole lives. And so this is like one of those exciting times, at least for me, that I feel like I finally found my purpose, And
that's what a lot of people say, is that it is finding their fit in life. Well, I think one of the questions that Jennifer's just put up about, doing this just before November. If you're going to do this, do it before November. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in November. No one really knows what's going to happen in November, December, January. But if you're one of our practitioners, you can make a difference. And I promise you, even if nothing happens in November, apart from we're all skipping around rainbows and we're all dancing with unicorns, SRT is still required throughout the world. And it is getting wider, and it is getting more known. And if the shit does hit the fan, then it's the practitioners that are going to be busy.
Oh yeah, indeed. You will never run out of work, as they say.
Recession-proof industry.
Yes, indeed. And it's such a small niche. Like, yeah, there's always going to be work to do.
It is. Yep. It's such a small niche. And we've got, say, 22, 23 practitioners now, and it's a big world.
Mm-hmm. That's why there's no competition between any of us. In fact, many of us, even if I can't do a case, I'll hand it to somebody else and say, this is really important. I can't do it today. Here you go. You know, like, yeah, we all look after each other. And that's one of the best things about this academy is in every way. I love that we are backing each other up.
That's exactly how it is. And if you think how big the world is and what the population is, we're never going to outweigh the practitioner ratio to population. So we desperately need facilitators. We desperately need mediums. And when I say desperately, we need them because, you know, mental health throughout the world is huge.
It's getting so bad lately.
Throughout the world is huge.
But I don't think I've ever seen it as bad as it is right now. The mental
absolutely. Health. But we are not desperate to take people on.
Yeah.
The people that we take on, we have to be confident that what we teach you is right for you, and that you're also right for the academy as well. So, you know, like we say, we don't have a buy it now button, and you don't turn up, smile, and get a certificate. You work with your assessors, you work and you earn your certificate.
Yeah.
Because the work is out there, and the higher the standard of the practitioner, the more the work is going to happen. It just makes complete sense.
I'm going to share your link one more time, Jonno. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know I've got to go. I'm going to join up with you guys in a second on Astara. Every Monday I do my mentorship chat, so you guys can talk about whatever you're going through. So there's the link, Jonno's training workshops. We have the 21 day up there. You have the gatekeeper. You also have the trance level 1, which I believe might be full. I think I stole Jonno's last spot, but you never know unless you try.
I think there's a few more on there.
There might be a couple extra spots, so you never know.
I think there's a few more places, but that does go because lots of people want to get into that. And
that's why I didn't even mention it until now. Like it's gonna do it. That's what I say. Like
yeah.
Yeah. Andy's here, by the way. Hi, Andy. Nice to see you, bud.
And
Prince Porter's in the house.
You've signed up for the November class. Fantastic. Wonderful. And thank you too for that email that's just come in. I haven't read it yet. I've just been shown it and told to read it. So thank you for sending that in.
Cool. Love it.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Jonno.
You take care, Laura.
I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your afternoon. I'm going to be jumping on Astara right now. So for those of you who want to join me on Zoom for a chit chat, feel free to join us. And yeah, I will see you guys over there shortly. And we also have, let me see. So sorry, 1 second. Tomorrow we have the Om Daily Coherence, the 28-day challenge with Jacqueline Burke. And then we also have tomorrow the Activate Your Light, the water element activation with Marla Lumina. That'll be tomorrow at noon. Perfect. There we go.
Just very quickly. Jennifer Stutz, you said you'd love to do this, but you're not confident. That confidence comes from me and Andy. That doesn't come from you. We will find that and we will build it and we will work with you. Simple as that. That's our role. That's our responsibility. That's not yours.
I was not confident starting out, but I certainly am now. Yeah. So it takes time to build that confidence, as everything does.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Take care, everyone.
Love you guys. See you all soon.
Take care, Laura. Bye-bye.
Bye.